Hey, what is going down, everybody? This is Sarius, and oh my god, it's been so long. I missed everybody. Hope you guys are rocking steady, not only just in the gaming world, but also IRL as well. Everyone, I'm sure you're probably sitting here saying, Sarius, oh man, it's so good to see a video here, but my friend, what is going down? It's been 2 months, brother. I hope you're doing okay. Is everything all right? Most importantly, what gives? So guys, here we are. I have been sick, and I'm talking not just like, you know, sick as in I got the sniffles and maybe just a little bit of an itchy throat. Nah, dudes, I was literally out for 2 months. This is the longest running cold and flu, I kid you not, that I've ever encountered in my entire life, dudes. It was gnarly. This whole holiday season, bro, instead of enjoying it with my family, you know, having some fun with friends and, you know, going out and enjoying life, I was just, oh my god, I was just going to work, trying my best. I felt like death, and I was trying to make some videos. I tried to man up saying, oh, well, it ain't that bad, even though I'm dizzy, I'm nauseous, I'm like puking and feeling, I don't want to give you the gritty details of it, but long story short, I was trying to make a video like this.
Hi guys, this is SariusGames, and today we're gonna be trying to...
I mean, I literally sounded like Oscar the Grouch combined with nails scraping on a chalkboard. It's kind of like that. And even my most patient viewer, and I know there's so many of you guys that are like, dudes, make videos whenever you can, man. I'm down. It doesn't matter if it's a year from now. You know, I've had people like that. You guys are awesome. I'm giving like the rock on symbol right now. Y'all are so chill. I know that even those people would probably start to get a little agitated. So right now, I know you guys are probably like, well, sorry, so I've already played this game. And by the way, you're probably wearing a monocle and having like a top hat as you say, oh, sorry, so while I enjoy my tea and crumpets, I see that you're trying to beat the Fright map. Frightyard. It's a really fun map. Actually, it's brand new for me. I know that you guys have already been around the block numerous times, probably already beat this map in your sleep, blindfolded, but you're probably wondering, Sars, what are you doing today, Sars? Today I am playing survival mode. It's a standard loadout killing floor game, but level 6 commando. I just went ahead and beat up the flesh pounds. No, I'm just kidding, not flesh pounds. Wave 1, guys, went ahead, spawned with the AK-47, been rocking out with that, and now I'm going to be showing you the power of the M4, kicking down the door with the M4. Oh, say no more, right? Okay, so enough rhymes and cheesiness and cheesy voices, inflections. I really like this weapon. It's a fun solo-based weapon or small team kind of go-to weapon. It's really fun, extremely fast fire rate though, guys. I mean, no joke. You can just see how fast this thing can completely expend all of the ammunition in your magazine. You get 13 spare mags. I'm not gonna lie, on a single player game, this makes this ideal to have some fun, rock out, get headshots. That's the most important thing. I've never really been about hard statistics, so you're never going to hear me, and I'm not making fun of people that are down with stats, but you're not going to hear me be like, well, the rate of fire is 9.9 kilojoules per second, and basically you have to hold down the mouse for exactly 1.2 milliseconds in order to be able to effectively maximize your damage and DPS. I'm not a stat freak. I've never been a stat freak. I've always been more about tactile / haptic oriented tips and strategies. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I talk about rate of fire, but I don't really go into specifics. All I know is this thing has some wicked nasty rate of fire. If you're talking about how fast you want to dump ammo on enemies, this is probably the most gratifying weapon, probably rivaling that of the Quake 2 old school chainsaw rate of fire beast, which that little guy was. If any of you guys have played, you know, I don't know, Quake 1, Quake 2, maybe Quake 3, I don't know, whatever ones have, insert chain gun weapon there, generic chain gun weapon. That's what I love about the M4. But guys, this is a little bit of a different game. The M4 is really designed for I want to say a little more of a seasoned crowd, the type of gamers that are kind of been there, done that with some of the slower fire, higher damage per shot weapons, basically like the AK-47, for instance. The MKB-42, you know what I'm talking about? Good guns like that are solid. They're like pigs in how they fire. They're like, but they do a lot of damage per shot. They want to upgrade. They want to have some fun. They're getting a little bored of the whole commando class. This is a great loadout to rock. So what I'm going to be doing in terms of how I'm going to play my commando in this solo-based map. Actually, I have played solo mode today. We're going to actually be grilling up the Fatty Patty as well, Wave 11. I will be switching class for that, though. I did want to get some good footage where I actually blow him to smithereens, because I have died quite a few times to the Patriarch on this map. I'm not going to lie. It was a lot of fun, though, but I've learned a lot, and I have a lot to teach. So, getting back to the loadout, what is Sarius going to be playing and what do I have up my sleeves? Hopefully a couple aces here and there, right? So I will show you. You guys just stay tuned. For those of you who are new, I promise you, hopefully I can keep this video exciting, keep the commentary rolling, just like old times. But I'll be showing some tips, mobilities, things that I've learned about Frightyard, some of the hairpin stuff that's going to happen, because waves 7 all the way up to waves 10 are going to get nitty gritty with those flesh pounds. As a soloing commando, there's some little tricks and tips I'm going to show you to hopefully really wedge those guys, give them some wedgies while you run away, and they're going to die real quick, I promise. Okay, so in terms of reload speed, the M4, guys, it doesn't really have the fastest reload time. As you can tell, it's not as fast as, let's say, the supercharged bullpup that I know many of you guys have seen in my Killing Floor Arsenal commentary. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Getting back to a little bit about what the purpose of this video is, this is kind of like a hybrid between the art of Commando / Killing Floor Arsenal on the M4 specifically, because we will be rocking this out from waves 2 all the way up to wave 10. Wave 11, actually, just as a disclaimer, I do go level 6 support, so I will be showing you some tips on that to kill the Patriarch very quickly. The reason why is because I wanted results, guys. At this point, I'm like, I've went ahead, sludged through 10 specific rounds, and I want to show y'all basically a victory. So if anything, if you're looking for the M4 base gameplay, waves 2 all the way to wave 10, baby, I'm telling you, we're going to have some real fun with this. Now the map, I really enjoy Frightyard, I'll tell you right now. It's got a lot of great things going for it. A lot of mayhem, a lot of discord, there's a lot of confusion on this map, especially when enemies start spawning in and you don't carefully protect yourself as you're moving. The biggest thing you have to be careful is right here. I like to call this the balcony. The reason why this works so well is because these half walls allow you to jump on them. But at the flip side, you also have enemies that like to circle strafe around your position, especially near those stairs, guys. So you gotta be real careful. I like to go ahead and back away. Notice how what I'm doing with the M4 in terms of my strategies. I'm aiming down the sights briefly. I'm going ahead putting, I'd probably say, a couple mouse clicks, give or take, because that's all it really takes to expend about, I'd probably say, 9 to 10 rounds. Notice what I'm doing here. I'm going ahead and burst firing. That's the most important thing. I'm going for headshots, maximum damage output, and I'll tell you, although this little guy right here has a very fast rate of fire, a recoil speed that sometimes I think really makes it very difficult to control, it's also very, very rewarding, guys. I can't tell you how rewarding it is to fire this M4. Playing it on single player is super fun because you have more damage per shot. Rather, the enemy's health, and this is to be a little bit more correct, are a lot less based on, like, let's say you're playing like a 5 to 6 man Hell on Earth match, you know what I'm talking about. So for some of you newer viewers, I want to go ahead and change topic real quick, let y'all know that all the video footage that I have here on this channel for Killing Floor is all Hell on Earth difficulty. However, the mileage does vary in terms of latency, hitbox placement, depending on whether you're playing on a multiplayer server or a single player. So again, you're going to have to adjust accordingly. But the biggest solution, and I'd want to say the biggest elixir to all of this, is just getting in game and haptically getting down that muscle memory. That's the biggest thing that's going to get you going. Now, for those of you who are, like I said, brand new, and I'm talking to my brand new viewers, I'm talking to every single one of you, people who have been here since day one, way back when we were like rocking out with Serenity Divide. I'm giving you like the rock on symbol right now, guys. Straight up, it's been way too long. Love y'all. I miss y'all. Hope everyone's doing good. Most importantly, these videos are not here to show off these guys. I'm telling you right now, please, 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 forever just ingrain that in the back of your memories. I'm not here to show off. I'm not here to be able to, try to show off a proof point. This is for you guys. This is why I'm making these videos. This is for every single one of my videos. I right here, I want you to get some data points. I want y'all to be able to rock out. And I want you to do great. I want you to feel comfortable in this game because this game is so much fun. The Tripwire guys, I'm telling you, man, they're a great company. I'm having a lot of fun with their new update. And they just do good stuff. This is a great concept. And I don't really see a whole lot of market competitors for this type of game. It is a niche game. Don't get me wrong. It's a survival horror with waves. I know we've seen that called Call of Duty. God of Duty. Like COD of Dookie. I'm sorry, I'm not making fun of the genre. So if y'all are a COD fan, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? I played Modern Warfare 1. We're good to go. COD 4, it was awesome. Good times, you know? And that was pretty much where I let it rest. But long story short, they not copied, but they had the same similar concept with the wave system. But I don't know, something about Killing Floor is just totally unique. You know what I'm talking about? So I want new players like you who are watching my video right now, and even veteran players, seasoned players, players that played but they kind of lost interest, to check it out. Come back into it. There are so many weapons to try, and every single weapon has a sort of a different feel to it. Like the M4 is totally different than any of the other weapons in game. This is probably the most unique and original. And I know even though the model itself, the gun is infamous for, it being very popular among, the gun community. But oh my goodness gracious, this game is just making it so much better. The reason why is because it has, like I said, the chain gun status rate of fire. I don't know how fast that thing can fire, but oh my goodness gracious, it shreds. Look at the health bar. It shreds enemies down. And if you hit multiple headshots, I'm telling you, bros, you're going to be doing some really, really great gameplay damage. Here's one more tip. You want to go ahead and make sure that you're very much so tapping very lightly on the mouse. You're going to have to play with that to get some figures down. You'll get the general idea of it. And you want to be dragging down ever so slightly. One thing that does really kind of stink about the M4 is the aim point sight. Sometimes when you're firing and you go to re-sight in and you aim it down the sight again, it takes like almost forever. It takes like almost like a year for that damn little sight to go all the way back down to the 0 point. So what I do instead, and I quote Obi-Wan from Star Wars, trust the Force, guys. I'm serious. Like, just go with your inner knowing of where the center of your screen is. Practice, miss a lot. It happens. It's all good. It's fast-paced. This isn't a game that you're going to be sitting and trying to really make some hard-ass calculations. Excuse my language. But you're not trying to make some hard calculations on where to shoot. Just try it. It's so much fun. One more thing you might want to consider is also kind of practicing a little bit where the scope is going to be while you're moving. Now, I did buy the FAL as a great backup primary. I'm going to be whipping this out when I have high priority targets to take out. I keep it on full auto. The reason why is because when you're on single player, dudes, the chips are on the table and everything is resting on you, dudes. This is the best part about playing solo sometimes. And you know me as kind of like the 6-man Hell on Earth multiplayer server, stressing teamwork, stressing everything. Dudes, I'm telling you, in your downtime when you just kind of want to kick it back, or you're having some modem fart issues where your modem's farting on you all over the place and getting some bandwidth problems, it's always nice to kind of have a little bit of peace and soliloquy and solace from the multiplayer server, but it gives you time to practice. You're challenging yourself. You're going up against unsurmountable odds. You know what I mean? 50, 60 enemies per wave. And it's a really great training tool. And this is a real tough mistress, I'll tell you. If you get yourself bound up too much, you lag a little too slow in various areas, you're gonna know it. And if you die and you lose, you learn. You're like, oh crap, I never want to do that ever again. But on the flip side, you also get to learn in an environment where even if you fail, you know what I'm talking about? You don't have to worry about other people having not so good of an experience if you fail. This is why I really stress solo gameplay for a little bit. It's so much fun. I know it can kind of be a little harrowing at first, but just honestly stay committed to it. And I promise you, you're going to be so much more confident when you hit the floor. You know what, guys? I see this as a great opportunity when you just put it in your mind, right? Once you start getting more familiar with Hell on Earth, put it in your mind and say, guys, you know what? Oh, wow, this is kind of like very similar to how it would be if my entire team dies and I have to clutch the round. You know what I'm saying? So this is where this all kind of comes into play. Now, provided, I don't want y'all to see this video, and I'm warning you right now, I don't want you to see this, level 6 Commando gameplay on level 1, one player difficulty. I'm having a loss of words here. I just want to let y'all know that some of the damage values are different. So, I'm going to be showing you how to kill Skrakes right here. Now, watch this. I go to full automatic. Notice how I'm burst firing, but as I'm going and targeting the Skrake's head, I'm ever so slightly moving my cursor, my mouse, to the left as I'm making those shots, and you're waiting and listening for those crunchalicious headshot sounds. I'm telling you, that's the best indicator. Now, the Scrakes rage very quickly in single player, so you got to be real careful, and you got to pay attention to those husk fireballs, especially if they set those Scrakes on fire. And by Scrakes, I'm talking about the guys with the chainsaws, okay? Because they will auto rage very quickly, and they can demolish your armor. Now, notice I quickly suit up in armor. I'm always going all out. I'm trying to go ahead and pick up ammo from the map. I'm really not trying to fill up my pistol at this point, but look at the amount of dosh I have, as they call it. Money, money, money. 10, basically, I literally got about $1,000, 1K, ready to rock and roll, and I'm going to be doing something real special with this money real soon, and I'm going to be showing you because I'm preparing myself for wave, 10 of 10 of 10 when things are on, literally going crazy. We've got double flesh pounds on the way. Alright, so one enormous tip, you definitely want to be checking that timer on the top right when you're traveling to and from a trader zone, especially on Hell on Earth difficulty, because this map, especially this map, is so freaking unforgivable. This is where I like to start. This is just one goofball's opinion on where to start in the game, which I really have to thank my big homie, awesome man, Mr. Grave Rose, for showing me some great tactics as we played together way back in the day. It's about months and months and months ago. But I just want to let y'all know, I like being able to hold the fort here. Think of this as like a mini game. You're playing King of the Hill. I almost said King of the Fort. Long story short, look at this M4 wiping the floor with the M4. Get some! Okay, the fire rate. Notice how I'm burst firing. I'm tracing those headshots. I'm doing everything I can to try to get as many headshots as possible. Don't get frustrated, guys, if you're not right out there nailing a crap ton of headshots. It's okay. Don't worry about it. The one thing you have to understand is that with this game, dudes, it doesn't matter if you get to Project Z in half a day or if it takes you a whole week. It doesn't matter, y'all. You know what I'm talking about? Just have fun with the game. I see too many people that get caught up in this whole skill level stuff. You know, they're trying to all outdo each other. It's just downright nasty. So you just basically just take it, have some fun, and get going. Now, right here, notice how I had way too many problems with that reload right there. I was trying to take out the crawler. Obviously, you can see I was whiffing quite a few times. The pathway that I was trying to kite in was blocked. So this is where you want to have a fluid mind, guys. You want to go ahead and make sure that you're constantly looking at various areas. It's kind of like playing that game way back in the day where you're playing tag, and it's kind of like, just imagine like every single one of these Zeds are it, and you are the crafty sly fox. You crafty sly fox, you have to go ahead and make sure that you're constantly Oscar Mike. You're constantly moving on the move, guys. And notice how there are multiple different fire movements and maneuvers that you want to be learning. So this is why I'm saying the M4 is definitely one of those weapons that you want to have kind of some seasonal understanding of the gameplay mechanics. You want to know where the hitboxes are generally going to be. You want to go ahead and make sure that you understand the recoil, the burst firing, which we've already talked about, the rate of fire, and most importantly, how to do all of these things even while on the move. So right there, again, let's talk a little bit about the FAL kill. Notice how I'm burst firing. That one I kind of went a little full auto there because I do know pretty much just the exact amount of wrist movement it's going to take to slightly move my cursor to the left side and get all headshots there by the crunchalicious headshots. Look at the amount of money I have now. I have a ton of money, just enough to buy dual pipes. But do I do it this round? No. I do not do this. We are about to have our first flesh pound, guys. This is exciting stuff because I've never shown you guys how to kill flesh pounds as a one-player Hell on Earth player, okay? So this is going to be pretty neat. I'm going to show you some tips, tricks. We're going to go over it quite a few times. There's going to be some flesh pounds here on in. You know what I'm talking about? So stay tuned. Now look at this. I'm watching the time on the upper right. I'm saying, oh, do I have enough time? Yes, I do. Good. So now at this point, making sure everything is on full auto, making sure all my systems are good, all my weapons are reloaded. And again, guys, big trick. New players don't know this, so this is why I want you to stay tuned. Guys, have your knife out. You get a speed boost. This actually helps you even in enemies that are like really fast and they're almost gunning your butt down. You want to go ahead and switch off to your knife sometimes because that can really allow you to even dodge attacks. I know that sounds really strange, but sometimes I'm going to have to probably show you an example of that when I'm pulling off the knife. But right here, look at this. This is why I stay on the ramp because it does make it so the flesh pounds spawn in various areas that are more advantageous to my counterclockwise kite rotation. So look at this. Look at this guy right here. Oh, he's so cute. Look at him. So I'm going to go ahead and toss a nade, immediately get him over the rage meter. And notice how he still has some health, but look how fast the FAL is just taking him out. This is why I'm rocking the FAL as a spare reserve primary. It's to take out the big high priority targets. Now, keep in mind, guys, now I'm going to load this up with disclaimers because I don't know if you're skipping around the video, which is cool. I totally understand if you are. You know what I'm saying? Skip to whatever you like. But dudes, do not try this tactic on a 6-man or more than one person hell on earth. This is intended for solo-based gameplay, guys, or you will get rocked and you're going to tick off a ton of players. So, guys, I'm telling you this right now. You did not hear this advice from me. Okay, so for those of you who are like, well, Sarius had this one video up where, you know, he kind of taught us how to kill flesh pounds, so I'm going to go join a multiplayer 6-man hell on earth server and I'm going to show the world that I can do it too. Don't do that. Do not do that. You did not hear that from me, okay? And all you gamers right now that are going to have new commandos joining in, okay? Just be wary of those guys. You watch them, okay? So right here you can notice that as long as you have a fluid mind, you are active, you're paying attention, you're keeping your eyes all the way open. Now, guys, keep in mind, you know, the FOV, whatever you call it, the field of view isn't really like real life where you kind of have peripheral vision. So keep your head on a swivel. I'm constantly moving around, checking corridors. I'm not even like going to take any sort of chances because you never know when those little silent little husks or even those little sirens are going to start screaming and pulling you in, and it's so easy to get trapped on this map. Notice how I almost want to say freight boxes. Yeah, they're freight boxes, right? Yeah, someone confirm that. They're freight boxes. Enemies can jump from those. And that's very UFO, NMOE, unknown, or enemy, whatever, enemy within, enemy unknown style-esque. I really like the map design. I know I'm changing subjects quite a few times. But guys, I'm telling you, get the high ground when you have husks firing at you. Have areas where you can take cover. I'm telling y'all, it's just a great tactic. Notice how I'm trying to pick off the husks without alerting the other enemies. It's a really good tactic. I like to pick off all the enemies, save the Scrakes, the chainsaw-wielding baddies, till the very end. And I'm also making full use of my sound. So I know some of you guys want to rock out with rock music. Don't get me wrong. I know you got the radio blaring. You're like, oh yeah, I'm on a groove. And don't get me wrong, that's some really good stuff to stay alert. But sometimes you're going to miss out on a lot of the sounds that really indicate where enemies' locations are. Now, one thing about Killing Floor, which I love, is that some of the enemies are very distinct. They're not like all sounding like the same, you know, zombies from other zombie apocalypse games. You know, I'm talking about like Left 4 Dead, for instance. But, you know, you really get a decent idea as to where the enemies are, what type they are, and you can react accordingly. So, again, guys, notice how I'm burst firing until I hear that nice crunch-alicious I'm going to call myself Captain Crunch in a second, crunch-alicious headshot sounds, and then you're just slowly dragging the mouse to the left side. So, again, I'm going to put another disclaimer up there. Don't do this on anything more than solo-based gameplay, okay? This is all based on solo stuff. The different tactics are needed for other types of games, and when you're on a 6-man Hell on Earth, or even let's say more than one, flesh pounds shouldn't even be your primary focus. You guys want to be focusing on the small stuff that's going to get your teammates killed. So I want to stress that first and foremost. Now, as for the holiday cameras, I know someone's going to be like, well, sorry, you missed like that camera right there, and oh man, you missed that camera too. You know, I'm not here to shoot all the cameras. When I played with Grave, actually, he was really good. He has a really good eye. I have to call him Eagle Eyes because he found all the cameras with everybody, all the teammates that we played with. So, mad props, dude. I'm just kind of doing this as a way to kind of warm up, get my aim sharp. It's one of those tactics that I know a lot of people are like, yeah, dude, I do the same thing. So, anyways, trace circles, trace letters, do what you got to do. But that's a great way to keep your aim rolling, keep it sharp, keep yourself active. Now, right here, take a look. Now, you cannot mess around when you see flesh pounds. I'm telling y'all right now, go and take cover. And I like to say about a 5 to 6 grace period window. 5 to 6 seconds. That's all you get. Now, right here, notice how I put a couple rounds in with the foul before I triggered that rage, but I made sure that my nade was at his feet, so I bound him up so he could not move, and he had to take the brunt of those damage with the grenades. You know what I'm talking about? So if you're lucky, you're not going to have to really worry too much about a double flesh pound, because I am going to be saving up for a very special tactic with those pipes that I just bought way back in the wave before. Again, we're at the balcony, y'all. You can see the half walls are great because husks have a real hard time shooting you when you're up here. So as soon as you see husks, get up to the high ground, you know what I'm saying, and just basically dodge the flood of fireballs that are about to drain you down. Now, jumping is another super good tactic to allow you to not get grappled by those clots, the little weak enemies that like to pounce on you. Jumping also is a very effective strategy when backpedaling against pouncing crawlers. It gives you enough distance and enough time. But we'll talk about that in other videos as well. So don't worry if you don't understand what I'm talking about at this point. Notice how sometimes if you're not getting headshots, notice how much ammo it takes to down enemies. So like I said, if you are having trouble hitting headshots with the M4, or you feel like the M4 isn't your thing, don't worry about it. It's not you. Don't trip. It's not you. It's just the fact that you got to understand the gameplay mechanisms a little bit more. And most importantly, I would recommend to increase your headshot count. What you do is get a slow fire weapon. Get one of those pig weapons like the AK-47, Avnomot Kiloshnikov, that just goes right here. Remember how I talked about the Skrakes and how they rage real quick? That is a prime example. You got to be watching yourself, watch your back, keep yourself open to any sort of possibility. Now notice how I'm keeping a consistent mobility. I'm way ahead of the crowd, but just close enough so that way I don't really have to worry too much about them crossing over and basically cutting me off. I've seen a lot of berserkers, and I'm not gonna berserkers that pretty much run so far ahead of the pack that they end up getting everybody all like snarled up. It's kind of like if you've ever seen your computer and you have a bunch of cables and stuff like that, you know what I'm talking about, and you have you sit there about 2 months after connecting new stuff, you look at the wires, you're like, how on earth did the wires happen like that? How did they get all tangled? That's kind of what the Zerks are doing. So don't do that. Just pace yourself. Don't worry. It's all good. If you fail the first couple times, you're playing solo mode, so what's it matter anyway? You're going to get better. You're going to get better. And every single failure is like a big victory because you learn. Notice how the KF gods have been so graceful. Notice how I had all of my armor stripped off right there. It was pretty bad right there. I mean, literally. But at that point, I found a nice drop. That's why I like kiting. You know, Graves a big awesome kiter as well. He's one of the best kiters I've known. He has an awesome group of guys that like to get on together and do this. So, you know, this is one tactic out of many. I mean, I could have sat still and been a static target and just shots from a standing position, which is awesome. I mean, you know, every way is the right way. You know what I'm talking about? Whatever you find fun in, you do it. But I think it's kind of fun with the kite footage because I get to show y'all a little bit more dynamic, shooting on the go, more difficult stuff that you have to do. That, you know, people that are just sitting here looking down a sight all day, you know, they're not going to have that same sort of experience, you know. But either way is fun. I love the mayhem that standing in one position does. You get so many enemies flooded in, and now I'm going to start picking off some of those Skrakes. But notice how I get really close to the trader before I do any of that. Okay, one thing you have to understand is that you want to make sure that the Skrakes that you're fighting, any sort of high power enemy, you want to fight them on even ground where there's really not a whole lot of obstacles in between you and them, and there's no weird elevation, because the hitboxes leave a lot to be desired sometimes. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, straight up. So notice how the Skrake here is getting kind of stuck on the wall, in the half wall. See what I'm saying? So depending on where your location is, I guess they have to go through various nodes and points. Look at my pipes. Oh, these are beautiful. I'm going to show you a little fun little thing you can do to take out the flesh pound double threat. And one thing, you know, I'm really hoping my videos are reaching out to all of you, including the tripwire developers as well. I just want to say props to you guys. You're doing a good job. Keep it up. I understand a lot of community members have really kind of been caught back by the whole DLC controversy regarding, you know, is it fair for this company to start selling DLC and various weapon packs and such that, you know, they feel may or may not have a significant advantage. You know, my honest thought is Tripwire is an independent developer still, no matter what. Okay, they started breaching the wall into the portable consoles with, I believe it's called the Wii or something. I actually had an awesome gamer that told me some exciting news. He actually went to one of the tech conventions where they got to meet the team themselves, and they showed him like a demo of the actual game, and they had like a contest. Whoever held the longest, whoever survived the longest with the Wii game, you know, won a Wii themselves, which is pretty cool. I don't even know what a Wii is. Ouija board, Wii, I have no idea. Luigi. That's pretty much where my brain's fried at that point. But long story short, you know, it seems like this developer is really cool, and I know DLC is pretty much the trend that not a whole lot of gamers like, but let's face it, I mean, these guys, I mean, coming from a guy that's, I'm speaking about myself here, that's thinking a little bit more about the entrepreneurial side of things, you know, everybody's got to eat here, and, you know, these guys have done more than their share in terms of being able to provide a game for how many years, guys? I mean, 4 years, guys, 4 years, 2009 it came out. It just seems like yesterday, y'all. So all I'm saying, long story short, this isn't a rant. Kill the flesh pound. You can see how I'm doing this. It's really not brain science. It's not rocket science. You guys can do this too. Just make sure you're putting a couple rounds in the foul. With the foul, I'd probably prefer a couple headshots. That way you get some nice beefy damage there. Drop a nade and commit to that is where the enemy's going to be. Make sure there's no sirens around, because Oh man, I can't tell you how many times, both in 6-man Hell on Earth games and even solo-based gameplays, that sirens have completely messed up support specialists, demo men, everything. So just make sure they're out of the way. If not, then you're going to have to kite a little bit further. But this is why I start off in that one area. I try to garner as many enemies as I can in that one specific area, and I've been really lucky with the really nice fleshbound spawns that are in really advantageous locations. Alright, I don't want to digress too much on that subject, but notice how I am rocking out with the FAL. Notice how the front is starting to get a little bit more crazy. This is why I do have my FAL out. It's the really kind of like a really nice push weapon. Notice how close I come to dying at this point. I'm taking fireball fire. This is where, like I'm saying, have a fluid mind. Always check your 6, watch your back. The FAL saved my life because I needed that high power burst damage to clear through that crowd. Was I killing enemies a little bit too fast? I have to admit, yes, I probably was. And that's one of those things that could have gotten me killed, but at the same rate, I would have learned and I would have probably gone a little bit slower at that point. So right now, there's a lot on the table, but notice this is very similar to what you would be experiencing if, let's say, your entire team wipes, you're the last man standing, you've got a lot of enemies that you've killed that have been on the 6-man difficulty, so now you have fresh spawn that are all with that one player health kind of dynamic. So you're going to be ready to rock. Nice little double twitch. Definitely one thing you want to be having fun with is multiple target acquisition. My mouth kind of felt like a lizard in heat. Here we go to the left side. There you go. Look, notice how I'm going and killing the Scrake a little faster. It's because I'm in single player, guys. If it was a 6-man Hell on Earth, I would let another like sharpshooter, I'd let a Zerk take him out, I'd let a support specialist take that guy out, but I'd be on support taking out some of the trash enemies. Just want to keep on putting those little plugs in there because I don't want some new player being like, oh yeah dude, cool, I just skipped around, long story short, blah blah blah, I'm gonna go level 6 and let's go join a server and try these new tips out. Don't do this. Okay? So, anyways, it's been kind of an intense round. You see that I don't have any armor left. I almost lost it all right there. So you can see how fast and how vicious this map is. Got to give props to the map editor. You know, it's funny. I think I might have mentioned this earlier in my video. If I already said this twice, I apologize for the redundancy. But this map really, for whatever reason, just really reminds me of watching some XCOM enemy unknown gameplay. It's like you got the half walls, you got the awesome green glowing stuff that seems like the alien spacecraft, and you've got like all this wonderful looking, these half trucks, and the cover system looks like it would be perfect on this type of map. I'd really like to see actually this map pop over into the XCOM universe, but long story short, vice versa, this would be pretty dope. Okay, here we go guys. I'm picking up pipes here. I'm not going to start messing around. I'm going to be showing y'all some great tips as we click over. Let me pop over to full screen right quick so I can see the entire bit of action, and we're going to start kicking some butt. Notice the timer. If the clock is ticking down, at this point, I know that I was pretty much, I wasn't really, it's not like sweating, but you're kind of like, okay, now this is really where the chips are on the table. I'm getting myself over to the ramp area, and at this point, I'm going to hold my ground as long as possible, and hopefully I can proc a spawn to the left, because that's where the enemies have been spawning so far for the flesh pounds. So right now, I'm standing my ground, and I'm breathing a little harder than normal. I'm like, okay, so notice how ramp play definitely messes with the hitboxes. You got to be real careful with that. Notice double flesh pound. See, guys? This is what I'm talking about. You got to be real careful. As soon as I see flesh pounds, I try to get out of their line of sight within 5 to 6 seconds. Now watch this right here. This is where things do get hairpinned, but look at this. The first pipe goes off, the second pipe goes off in close proximity from one to the other. The good news was that I was able to trigger both of them within that blast radius. That has one hell of a blast radius, even for an off perk. So for a single player environment, that right there just saved my life. That just saved my life, because if it wasn't for that, I'd have to be kiting through a very, very vicious spawn rate. Look, these guys come out of the containers. I'm talking like those blue containers right there. You gotta be real careful. You've got enemies spawning all around you. Some of these Zeds are much, much better at acclimating themselves to you than ever. Now notice how I have some front spawn. Those bloats are dangerous. Notice how I have the FAL to mop them up. If I'm hitting meat shots, which are everything but headshots, I'm knocking them out. I'm going to be knocking them dead with the FAL. That's why I love this weapon so much. But you got to understand that if you're rocking the FAL on full auto just like I am doing right now, which I prefer for the DPS, dudes, I'm telling you, I got to be still burst firing, okay? Be watching those ramps, got to be keeping your eyes open. Notice how I'm getting some nice little burst fire shots. This is where my adrenaline is up. I mean, I'm cranked up. This is where I'm pretty much at full alert. I'm shooting. I'm getting a little sporadic. So right now I'm going to go and reload, get myself out of visual range of any husks that might be causing some problems. And at this point, with all the flesh pounds dead, I don't see a whole lot of scrakes cramping my style. I'm going to go just basically full auto at this point. I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to let off a little bit of steam. I still got 9 spare mags. You catch what I'm saying? 20 Zeds left, and now I'm just gonna rock and roll. This is like the 4th of July, baby. Yippee-ki-yay! So everybody, those of you who sat through the entire commentary, wow, you guys rock, man. There's still more to come, so I hope you enjoy. It's just basically gonna be kind of like a, not really off topic, but it's going to be on a different perk. We're going to be dealing with the Fatty Patty level 6 support. I'm going to be showing you how to demolish, literally be like just demolish the crap out of this guy. It's so rewarding, I'll tell you. After going through 10 rounds of near-death experiences, it takes a lot of concentration. So the best part is when you're cleaning up the last of the Zeds, breathe, be like, oh yeah, okay, I'm in the zone. I'm going to get myself ready for the Fatty Patty. It's going to be good, man. So at this point now, I'm getting myself over to the trader. So that way, when I make those quick kills on the Skrakes and whatever's left, I'm going to know a little bit better as to where to go. Sure enough, the world spawn already did it for me. So at this point now, time is clicking off. And I'm like, okay, so here we go. I found a really good place that I think you're going to enjoy holding up if you ever get in my situation. So farewell, beautiful senorita. We will meet again. The M4 and the FAL going bye-bye. I picked up the pipe bombs again for 1,500 dosh. And now at this point, I'm going to go and switch over to the support specialist, A12 shotgun with the hunting shotgun, full body armor. I recommend that. It will help you tank the first blow if you're anything but a medic, which will allow you to tank much more. But at this point now, I want high DPS. I want to grill this guy quickly. I want to kill him as quick as possible. So right now, I'm like, this is a pretty good place. I think I'm going to lock down over here. Notice the pipes that I had left over from way before. I'm going to go ahead and interlink these little guys right here. So it's going to be outside visual range, just outside the explosion radius. As you can see, I'm backed up in the corner here, and I'm trying to get myself so my line of sight is not going to be towards the right there where that Patty could snipe me with a rocket and kill me immediately. So at this point now, I thought he was right next to me. I'm locking. I'm getting loaded. I have full auto. I'm going to confirm to make sure that I can just dump on the enemy without any thought. And also, I'm going to confirm that I know where the center of my screen is so I can get maximum amount of damage. Notice that. I'm just looking around, keep myself alert. It's kind of eerie, though. You hear the Zeds and you hear the Patty charging your position. You're like, oh my goodness, here it is, here it is, here it is. Boom. And as soon as you see him, do not hesitate. You get in there and you try to do as much damage as possible. I was getting a little too cocky, though. Notice how I thought that I could kill him with that hunting shotgun double blast. Did not do it. But notice how I still have some armor left, which is awesome. So at this point now, you got to be real careful because you don't want to be shooting off too many shells on your AA-12. You want to make sure that's as full of capacity of a mag as possible. And here we go. Here we go. I see him again. At this point, I go and just dump on him. The AA-12 damage amassed with the pipe bomb damage was enough to literally obliterate this guy into smithereens. So I'm walking around, tossing some nades, having some fun. And guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It has been way too long. I missed all y'all. Love y'all. Hope you guys rock steady. This is Sarius coming back on the block, babies. I'll make videos when I can. I can't guarantee I have a lot going on, but I'll do the best I can, y'all. Sarius out. Let me know what you guys think. Adios, hasta la vista.